Well, this jackass is going to sleep the whole time. All curled up and cute.
You know, I was enjoying a nice nap before I came out for stream, and our cats have been very lovey. I think they really enjoy that we have such a wide open area for them to just roam.
Yeah.
We actually have a room dedicated as a cat room.
Nice. How's Mama taking with her cats?
She don't care.
Look at that big fuzzy jerk.
Aww.
And that's my laptop bag underneath him that I've now. He slept on it for like a week, and I went to pick it up the next week, and it was just so covered in cat fur I couldn't even use it. It was disgusting, and it blends in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of his until, yeah. Ooh, Basbo's. We should take you to Basbo's.
See, so I want a doe that is a. This is going to sound a little too specific. I want a doe that is.
I would be careful because Mooncrow is saying that they can hear you and.
Oh, well, hi everybody. All we're talking about is pizza. We'll be there in a moment.
Well, I know. I just wanted to get that call out before.
That's fair. Before we said anything terrible, like.
No. I don't think there's anything terrible with me saying that I want. The dough that we used to make at our place was a mixture of standard baker's flour, white flour, and it was mixed half and half with a flour that's from Italy that is specific to making pasta, and it's a very coarse ground flour.
Hey, look, there we are.
The things that we talk about, you think we're...
I needed them to continue to speak at will so I could make sure that things were working. I have no idea why it wasn't working. I literally had to unplug everything from the back of my computer, replug it all in, and it's fine. And there's nothing special happening back there. It doesn't make any sense to me. But here we are. So we're half an hour late. Can you all hear us?
Oh yeah, can you hear us?
Thanks, guys.
Crickets.
Thanks.
We are on a delay.
We are on a delay. Greeks is really good.
Yeah, they've been eating Greeks a lot.
And I just wanted to get on here and be like, no, Phil, you don't have to wait 9 minutes. Just give me a freaking minute.
Well, I was going to say something, and then Amanda said that they could hear us. So,
am I a little
Roxy,
quiet?
you're coming in a little. Yeah.
Is that still the case? Because I was turning it up and down, but I can fiddle with it some more if I need to.
That's got to be a stream thing because you're coming in plenty loud to me.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. Oh.
Talking about Greeks. Did you ever have Greek Tonys when you were over here?
Oh,
How about now?
They're closed.
Out of business closed?
Really? Yeah, they're out of business because I guess of everything that happened, they went out of business.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know. I was sad. Their Slamma Jamma pizza was awesome.
They were like a 30-year staple of if you can't make a pizza better than us, you're not making pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that sounds really weird.
I'm gonna cut this conversation about pizza short because we're already almost 40 minutes late because of ridiculousness. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear my friends. Hopefully you can even hear my husband. I just
not her friend. No. Just married to him.
This is where I am right now, okay, guys? So anyway, all the things that we were discussing earlier, there was a whole discussion about cat butts that you missed. There was all kinds of stuff that I said when you guys couldn't hear me. But here we are. We are back for Bunkhouse B. I am cursed no matter what stream I'm on. If I touch a button, the sound is not going to work, and something's going to be all faffed about. And but as long as you can hear me and you can see me and my friends and their voices, then everything is good. So welcome back to Bunkhouse B, Camp Coldwind. This is our special little interlude in between seasons of Illuminated Page and our Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign. We are hopefully going to wrap that up in season 3, but we shall see. And hopefully we have good ending and not all die. all dead ending. We made it through season 2 without another death, which is surprising. I really gave it my all to die multiple times, but they just kept bringing me back.
Well, you guys wouldn't let me use my dynamite.
I mean, you used it once and it didn't kill.
I mean, I'm honestly, I feel like Aaron just needs to go into the deep, peaceful rest. I feel like he's hit a point where that is what he needs. What he needs as a person. I don't know if there's like a future for Aaron after this campaign.
That's just Claudius doesn't like Aaron.
No, Claudius is fine with
quick.
Aaron. Aaron doesn't like Claudius. I saw we got a sub from Prime Gaming from Belial Azazel. Is that what you're going to call out?
Yes.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much for your resubscription.
Phil's good people. We like Phil.
We do like Phil. Phil is on another Call of Cthulhu campaign. Masks it's now an Octung Cthulhu campaign that is on a podcast that is, I also believe, on hiatus, as is our favorite thing to do around here because life is a chore sometimes. And here we are. But yeah, Phil's good people. We like Phil a lot. And hopefully, maybe you'll see Phil on camera someday. We'll have to, twist his arm. Or maybe he'll just like make food for us while we stream because he's also a good cooker.
Oh my God, he's a good cook.
But yeah, so this is Bunkhouse B. This is our story that takes place in the 90s. This is a continuation of a story we did back last July. This is part 2. In part 1 of Camp Coldwind, we reunited with our delinquent teens. What are their names? Let me read them. Ricky, London, and Kevin. And we find out that after their experiences and their close encounters with the supernatural at Camp Kiwagwa, way back in Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, they have not been doing okay. There's been a lot of stress, distress, anxiety, concern that there are things going on that nobody else seems to really care about. And one of them London seems to have been pretty nonchalant about it, at least is keeping up a stony exterior with his anime hair and his anime everything. That it was a gas explosion that happened. That was all. It wasn't a big deal. Everything was fine. There were no zombies. There were no bloated zombies. There were no cultists and sacrifices, about to happen. There's none of that. It was just we all got high on gas and they sent us home.
Every time he tries to explain it away, it reminds me of Will Smith in the first Men in Black when he's trying to explain it the first time after using the flashing thing. Like there was swamp gas had reflected and then some kind of explosion and just stuff happened.
Yeah. So just stuff, right? So that was kind of how he took it. Ricky and Kevin took it in an entirely different direction, and they just studied up on the occult as much as they could. They kind of went in different directions with it. One went kind of towards the cryptid side. One went more towards the occult and, spells and magic and protection and stuff like that. But they find themselves, because they are troubled teens now because of their experiences, and they find themselves needing to fulfill some community service hours. Most of them.
You steal one book.
That's worth like $2,000, and they get really poor. I think Kevin trespassed though. That wasn't my computer that time.
That was absolutely me. I'm so sorry.
Gosh dang it. Anyway, so they're doing their community service hours, and they find out that they're once again find themselves at a camp, but it's a horseback riding camp, and it is currently closed down for the winter. And some stuff was going a little funny. They actually reunited even with a fourth person from their old camping days, a young guy named Rick Decker, and he was actually who saved their butts the first time. And here he is just chilling on this horseback riding camp because his grandpa, Augustus Cartwright, is the caretaker and the head groom at the stables. So they got there first night. They ended up sneaking out, and we left them discovering something pretty gruesome at a tree. It looked like the tree was oozing some sort of sap, but it almost looked like blood. And London had reached out to touch the sticky substance. Something happened internally with him, and his all of his memories came. Is Rick Decker a DJ? Oh, okay. I see what somebody said. It sounds like one. Yeah. He touched it. All of the experiences of the past thing kind of hit all at once. We'll find out if that's how it actually went down inside his head, but something happened and London hightailed it for somewhere else, which is exactly what London tends to do in situations like this. So we're going to play the intro real fast, and then we'll come back and we'll dive into it. And I'm going to pull up my notes somewhere. So we'll be back in just about 30 seconds.
And of course, the music is Roxy.
Yes. Thank you. We are back. Just 1 second. I'm still pulling up my notes, and I have to do push to talk because of our current setup is still kind of temporary, and it sucks. So give me a second. You won't be able to hear a darn thing I say.
So while she's doing that, hey, don't forget that our follow button's there. If you haven't hit the follow button yet, you should definitely do that. If you have hit the follow button, there's a subscribe button like right next to it. If you want to do that, that'd be even better. You can check out our YouTube where all of our old stuff is at, and go and find our old nope, that's not how you spell that, sorry. Go find all of our old episodes of this like the Illuminated Page and Growing Shadows, as well as Tones of Isolation. Oh man, I don't know why I couldn't remember that. And then also some other play stuff like video is up there as well. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Those will kick up. I know that all of our Twitter handles are underneath our names right now. So Roxy's at RueWorks. Good night. Shawn is at Bink26. John is at Passion Nerdly, and I'm at Quiet. That's 2 T's because I'm extra. That's what I've decided I'm telling people now. Yeah, I know. So you should check all those out, and definitely, come follow us. We the shenanigans not just here but everywhere else. And I'm really just vamping, so whenever Roxy wants to take over, she can.
I'm going to take over here in just a second. I'm getting my window all set up.
Well, likewise, I'll hop in for a moment. Tonight is our Call of Cthulhu stream. This is a semi-interactive stream, which means that as we are doing our rolls, there are little things that you can renew some points for. They are called Cthulhu's, and you have the opportunity to give us rerolls, a few other things. You'll see that down there below the window. And yeah, you basically, for the time that you are watching our show, can redeem points and influence some of the stuff that's going on, which, of course, if we're about to die, we would love a reroll. Right, guys?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Real quick, Roxy, do we get any luck back since it's a new session?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a luck advance for me.
So I don't remember spending any luck last time.
Doesn't matter, Shawn. Just roll it.
Okay.
Is it just that we roll and add that?
Roll a d6 and add it, yes.
Oh, yes, 1.
Oh, boy. I got 1.
5.
See, you shouldn't have said anything, Shawn. Karma came and bit you in the ass. You guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Normally, tech stuff like this really, really throws me off, and I am tired AF tonight just because Amanda and I corral a gaggle of 1-year-olds for about 8 to 9 hours every day. And have a good night, Phil. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for the bits and for the sub again. You've been the best. But yeah, and for some reason, I'm feeling really good, and I'm going to attribute it to not medication, although I am very medicated, and it does very much help. But I was medicated the last time, too, and I was frazzled as shit. This time, though, we have been doing an experiment in the 1-year-old class, and there's a song called Weightless by Marconi Union that has been shown to reduce anxiety by like up to 60% if you listen to it. And there is a 10-hour version on Apple Music that they released. Yeah. I just put that thing on the Bluetooth on the stereo in the classroom, and we play that all day. And even Amanda and I have discussed that we just feel a little better. We don't know if it's working on the kids, although we've had some really good days in the 3 days we've been playing it. But Amanda and I feel better, and I'm doing okay. I'm not as angry as I could be. There is also the thing where I'm not sticking to notes tonight. We're going to kind of see where this goes, and I know what's going on. And so we're just going to see what they do to figure out what's going on. All right? If you're in for it, I'm in for it. Let's get started. Thank you for all the announcements, guys. Yeah, see, Amanda in chat is like, it's great, even though she didn't mean caps. That's my feeling, is all caps. It's great. I highly recommend it. Marconi Union.
Yeah, I just Google searched it, and the first thing on there is, does this song work? And it's like, yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a
it
10-hour
works.
on Spotify.
Maybe. Yeah. I also will say, another thing that I love to listen to is, if you can find it on SoundCloud, is the slowed down 10,000% Jurassic Park theme, which lasts 10.5 hours also for the one 3.5-minute song. It is really, it's something. It's something. It's as weird as that sounds. It's something, and I highly recommend. But it's not Weightless. I definitely encourage you to do that. But we were in the woods, and it was nighttime, and it was kind of cold. And they found some birch trees that around, you guys know, on those paper birches, or those, I think they're also called canoe birches, when the bark kind of peels off in layers of those birch trees, it looks almost like eyeballs. Sometimes it looks like eye shapes. Sometimes it just looks like somebody's hacked at it. But that's what they see. And out of one of these eyes of the birch, on several of these trees, there is just this thick, red-looking, dark-colored sap coming out of this opening. So, and again, London touched it and took off. So we're going to jump back in with Kevin and Ricky, and they were actually, what brought them to this place is they had seen headlights in the woods, and they saw a golf cart of the camp caretaker, Mr. Cartwright, out, and they were kind of heading over to see, because they could kind of hear voices, but they wanted to hear closer, or hear more distinctly. So that's where we are. We're going to jump back in with Kevin and Ricky, and we'll catch up with London in a second, or if he chooses to turn back and come back for his friends, we'll find out.
Yeah,
So
I think we had scooped some of it onto a knife or something.
What'd you say, Kevin?
Did London say anything as he bolted, or did he just touch it and go?
I said shit.
Okay. Like shit as in nothing, or like shit as in the actual word shit? I'm sorry.
No, I said.
No, he said shit and ran. He was like, shit.
Okay.
I remember everything.
This is a PG-13 stream. There will be some swears, so if that bothers you, please, don't let it bother you.
I'm gonna look over at Ricky and then look down the way that London ran. Should we go? He shouldn't be out here by himself, right?
Well, no, but let's go get him.
Yeah. London, hold up, and we're gonna run after him.
When he kind of hollers, I'm like, shh, they're over there.
Yeah, and those voices that you could hear, you hear them stop pretty fast. And they don't, it's not like they shout after you or anything, but they do stop. So you think that they probably heard something.
All right, let's go. We need to go. quietly.
Why don't you both give me some stealth rolls?
Okay. We're definitely good at that. Don't worry.
I actually got a success on that.
What is success, really? It's really a philosophical question, isn't it? About
How
success.
bad was your failure?
I'm like 14 over. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. I spend 14 luck because
Because you rolled one extra luck point.
gotta spend it while I've got it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I succeed as well.
Fantastic. Okay, so you guys get back, or you follow London's the line, the B line that he made. I keep thinking there's snow on the ground. There's not snow on the ground yet, but yeah, you keep following the direction that he went, and you don't. The headlights don't move. You don't see anything that indicates that somebody might be following you, and you head back. London, where did you go?
I'm headed back to the cabin.
Okay, so you guys and you find London. London, how did they find you? Are you okay?
I'm probably trying to get my stuff together to leave and looking for things that could be used as weapons.
Did I grab something as a weapon? I feel like I grabbed something as a weapon.
I thought Shawn was mentioning something about a pocket knife or something. Did
I pocket?
I feel like I had a
Somebody
baseball-
pocketed some
I
silverware.
got a switchblade. Because we did sleight of hand when I flashed it.
Okay.
baseball bat like. I don't know.
Oh no, it was a broom handle.
Yes, there we go. Yes.
Okay.
Fine. Just want to make sure I'm armed as good as that's gonna do. Any of us.
London, what are you doing?
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. Why? Why did you?
What? Yeah, what changed?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
About what?
Like there's something bad going on here.
The look on Kevin's face is one of like maniacal glee. Yeah, I know. We were all right. You can't leave. Where are you gonna go, man? By yourself. At least if there's three.
Did you just flashback? I mean, what happened? What made
you want to stay here?
No, I didn't want to come here at all.
Exactly. But we didn't have any choice. We're here now. We can either split up and slowly die one at a time, or we can stick together and maybe survive this. Iker's here. He saved our asses last time. Maybe he can save us this time.
I've seen Prince of Darkness. This doesn't end well.
Is that the one with like the big demon-y thing?
No, it's the anime.
Okay, look, this is
One of
real
the
life,
cartoons.
not an anime.
Look, whatever. Real life doesn't exactly contain these kind of situations, right?
Well, before the last camp, I would have said no, but guess what? Apparently it does. No one believes us, but it does.
So obviously, we're going to have to look at things that are not real life in order to figure out how to survive this. Am I wrong?
That is exactly. This is
No.
what I've been doing for the last couple of years. And I could tell you so much about a Wendigo, it would blow your mind.
Don't know if
Look, there's
none of that
I
is
don't know
even
what's up.
important. Let me put it this way. I touched that junk coming out of that tree, and all of a sudden, now I'm like, everything. I remember everything.
Well, good. That makes me feel better.
And
I'm not sure it makes me feel better, but
Well, not only do I remember
Surprise.
everything, but at the same time, I was filled with a certain sense of dread that, guess what? I'm going to die here.
Okay, that is true. And it's going to be more likely if you go running off into the dark. Because where are you going to go? There's no cars. They brought us up here on a bus. So
did you just tell him it was true he was going to die here?
He did just say that.
yeah, I mean, that's a possibility for all of us, but you're going to make that even more so if you run off into the darkness without a plan.
Listen, London, I know that you don't fight a lot, do you?
Look at me.
But listen, sure, but you're smart, right?
I guess you could say I'm smart, but more than anything, I'm quick.
So you got to use what you got, and it ain't smart or quick to run out in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night. We got to at least stay here till morning. What are you going to do? Walk the hours, the days back to civilization? No.
And it's only going to get colder out there too.
Yeah.
All things considered, look at it this way. Tomorrow, we're going to be stuck doing a bunch of work. We're going to have people watching us the entire time. The only time we can get away is at night.
No, not if we're smart. Not if we're smart. They're going to let their guard down. So we act like the perfect little campers. We do everything we're supposed to. They stop watching. We get prepared, and then we leave. Remember, there's hay. So there's going to be big old pitchforks. Sharpen that stuff right up. That'll be good for us to defend ourselves with. Like there's a bunch of stuff that we don't know about this area. We could learn a little bit more. You got to prepare yourself. We can't just run off like crazy. That's what's going to get us in trouble. Last time we were not prepared at all. I had a freaking slingshot and we had zombies. What good did that do any of us? Nothing. At least now we're bigger,
more prepared.
Yeah.
At least we know that stuff goes bump in the night.
Yeah, but at the same time, as far as I can remember, it didn't do us any good. Not even the adults. Even a gunshot couldn't help us. How exactly do you think you two are going to take this stuff on?
I'm not. I'm just going to try and protect myself. I'm not going to go out there and look for it.
I'm not going to looking for it either. I just know that when it comes, I'm not going to go down without swinging.
Yeah.
But if you run out into the darkness right now, you're going to go down without swinging.
And look at it this way. We can also talk to Rick tomorrow. And maybe he can let us know if there's a way out. Maybe if you fake appendicitis, they'll call an ambulance and take you away. That's safer than running off into the darkness right now, getting lost, getting eaten by wolves or a Wendigo, whatever.
I mean, do you remember on the bus when the last town was? Because I don't. Miles and miles away. And the likelihood of you getting lost on the roads out of here is very, like, let's just pretend for a second there isn't something terrible out there. You get lost in the woods and, like, literally fall down a ravine. It's too dark. You got to, like, I understand what you're saying, but you got to stay here at least tonight.
Yeah, we'll help you get out.
These adults.
Because, I mean, the first thing I'm asking Rick in the morning is what's up with the bleeding trees?
Yeah, right. And he's going to be like, I don't know what you mean.
No,
Mark my words. He's going to be like, I've never seen any bleeding trees, and we're going to take him to the trees, and the trees won't be bleeding. I guarantee you that.
I don't know.
Doesn't happen. But like some frog farted and opened a gateway to the hell dimension, and that's why they're bleeding right now. And tomorrow there ain't going to be no farting frogs.
That's one way to describe the apocalypse.
Farting frogs opening up hell dimension. Anyway, just relax. You just need to relax.
I'll give you a day or two. The thing is, seriously, I'm not going to stay here. Not the entire time.
I get that. I don't want to either, but I don't have much of a choice right now.
No, yeah. Remember, he's here of his own volition because he's a weirdo. Everyone else is required to stay here by law, or unless your parents sign you out. But you do need to finish your 80 hours of community service.
Look, and if they don't buy the appendicitis thing, I could always break your leg for you.
Oh my God.
That'll get you home.
Ricky got real rough.
Here's the other thing that we work on is, London, you're fast, but do you know how to get out of the way of a fist? You've not been in a fight. It doesn't matter how fast you are if they grab you first. Right? Why don't we work a little bit on the boxing, the bobbing, and the weaving? Trust me, it's worthwhile. You want to be fast and get away, you can't be grabbed first.
Yeah, right.
No, seriously. Kevin, throw a punch at me.
So, like, I square up like a boxer because I've been sort of trained, and like I square up and actually kind of good at punching people. Sorry. Oh, hey, I succeed.
Okay,
Are you
so
I want you to be so good at dodging.
I rolled a 44.
Is that a regular success?
That's a regular success.
You're still under me, so you succeed. Or no. I'm sorry. We both tie. Ties go to the defender. When you're dodging. Well, when you're dodging, though, ties go to the defender. So I square up and I take a jab at him, and he dodges right out of the way. Yeah, look at that. See, and that's what's important. Like you gotta know how to do a couple of these things, because if you don't understand it, there's no running that's going to be fast enough if they grab you first. If you don't know that they're there, and suddenly they got a hold of you, you can't react quick enough. You got to learn how to get out of the way and to squirm out of stuff.
Getting away and squirming out of it, I can handle. Fighting, yeah,
I mean, I'm not looking for a fight, because as much as I've trained, my parents thought, sending me to learn martial arts and MMA wasn't a thing back then. Martial arts. I mean, I know this would have done no good against the zombies. It might have done good against some of those cultists, the idiots that were trying to summon the zombies.
Yeah.
So this is more to protect myself. I wanted to protect my family. So that's why I've learned this. Look, what time is it now?
You guys waited until after lights out to sneak out, of course. You guys have been arguing for a piece. Let's go ahead and say it's about 11:15.
Look, we need to get some sleep, okay? And it makes everybody feel better. Let's set up a watch.
Yeah, we can
We'll take 2-hour shifts.
Up against the door.
Yeah, you're pretty sure. I was going to say, you're pretty sure you remember Mr. Cartwright saying that he'd be coming around to pick you up to start working at about 5 a.m. So that means you need to be up and ready before then.
Yeah, unlikely.
All right, let's set up 2-hour watches. I'll take the first one.
I'll take the second one. By the time we're done.
London, it's up to you.
Okay.
If you want to take a watch.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. I'm gonna go back to the front door and make sure the salt didn't get screwed up when London come run. And then I'm just gonna sit by the front door and try and stay awake.
All right. So we've got some. You guys obviously seem a little spooked. You're also teaching amateur fighting classes here in the little cabin you're in. Are you guys going to tell the other boys that are here with you? Are you guys going to talk to them about any of this?
No.
Lead them to the bloody trees.
We're just in this cabin by ourselves, right?
Yep.
Yes, they were in remember this camp. The houses that you're staying in are we calling them cabins, but there's just a little pot of 4 houses with a few bedrooms, or a couple bedrooms and a pull-out and a kitchenette. And this is actually for a kind of a transitions program, the New Tomorrow's transitions program for former inmates. Usually is who is here, but for some reason, this community service opportunity opened up. Probably some bureaucracy or corporate bullshit that wants, hey, we can make money if we make these parents send their kids here.
No, I'm not saying anything because I've already learned I don't say anything because it just gets me in trouble.
Okay. They're going to believe us either way. They're just going to think we're the weird kids.
Okay, cool.
Oh, they already think we're that.
That's fine. Yeah, they heard a lot of weird stuff on the bus ride to camp. So, okay. Well, next morning, you guys do your watch. Nothing happens. Nobody sees anything. Everything stays quiet. You, at 5 o'clock, just as he said, Mr. Cartwright pounds on the door. Come on, kids, wake up. Does anybody answer? Is anybody awake?
I probably.
Yeah,
Technically,
we're
I'm
up.
supposed to be awake.
Okay, so you took the last shift. So
Yeah.
enjoy that. Ooh, excuse me. So you got to start working. So are you dressed and ready to go?
Yeah, technically, I'm dressed and ready to go. I was just like,
Dressed, but probably not ready to go. Don't want to go.
Did you happen to wake up the other two, or did you let them sleep until he knocked on the door?
I honestly probably, I don't know. Unless they told me to wake them up before he got there, I would probably have let them sleep.
That's a choice. Okay, so he knocks on the door. Do you answer it then? So do you go to the door and answer it?
I'm probably pretty close to the door, and I probably just swing it open and look up at him.
I don't know what the hell that looks for, but go get in the car. Where's your friends?
They'll be here in just a second.
Guys, roll me a listen.
He just closed the door in his face.
Yes.
Oh, hey, I got that. That's a hard success, actually.
Yeah, I failed it.
Okay, Ricky's still snoring, and Kevin is like, oh. You do wake up with a bit of a start.
I look at the
I
clock.
slowly
realize what time
shut
it is,
the
and
door.
I start getting dressed. We have our own bedrooms. I just feel like this was a bunk. Like there were bunks in here. Am I just?
No, you actually have. Oh yeah. That is how I described it. There was like 3 beds along one wall. They were spaced out quite a bit, kind of like a motel. But yeah, it's a low cost, quick build living situation for former inmates that are probably not used to accommodations much better than this anyway.
It's one room with a bathroom, right?
And we have like
And a kitchen,
thing,
a small kitchen.
Yeah.
like couch. I kind of kick Ricky's bed and be like, Ricky, come on, man, we got to get moving. They're gonna get pissy.
What?
You got to get up and. Do
Are you
stuff.
telling me that you boys are still asleep? I told you no less than 6 times yesterday
I mean,
that
if I tell you that I'm awake, then I'm obviously awake because I'm talking, right?
is that what you want to wear to muck the stables today?
You want to stand there and watch an underage kid get undressed, or are you going to shut the door so I can get dressed?
He did see
Roxy,
y'all.
I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not have my button pushed?
No.
I thought London. Yeah, I thought London shut the door, but then you would have been able to tell what you were wearing anyway, unless you didn't sleep with a blanket on. Which I don't know how Kevin sleeps, but anyhow, he's like, "You have 10 minutes. I'm gonna go wake up I'm gonna go get the others, and then I want you in the car in 10 minutes. And if you're not, then you don't get any community service hours for today, and you will likely extend your time with me."
So slave labor. Okay, good.
What
I'll
else
make sure
is
the
it
judge knows
supposed to
about
be?
Community service. I'm pretty sure that's why we're here.
Compassionate rehabilitation.
You're serving the community by mucking stables. No, I mean, you won't work at all today, which is if that's what you want, but you just don't get to go home.
Just walk over and like slowly shut the door on him.
Well, while Kevin's arguing with him, I'm throwing some clothes on.
Nice.
I toss on clothes real quick. I'm a teenager. I can do that. I put on something appropriate for working out in the it's kind of cold, right?
Oh yeah, this
Not like
is November, I think, or late October in the Ohio River Valley, which is going to put you somewhere in this kind of part of the world.
Sure. Freezy Town.
Freezy Town.
Freezy Town, the one and only.
Oh, good. That means the manure's been freezy timed.
Well, that means
Yeah,
it
probably
won't snow
toss
as
on-
bad.
Jeans and like a long sleeve shirt, not like a sweatshirt, but like just a knit shirt.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, when you guys finally make it outside, you do see that Grant, JT, and Taryn are already out in the golf cart, and it's one of those. Like I said, it's one of those extended luxury golf carts that has room for 6 kids and a driver. So y'all cram in there, and Cartwright takes you about the day. I am not going to go through your day of mucking stables unless y'all want to have a specific discussion while you're elbow deep in God knows what.
I would like to keep an eye out for a few things.
Okay, what would you like to keep an eye out for?
I want to get an orientation of the camp as a whole. Kind of just like I'm not drawing anything, but just an idea of where everything is. So that
like
later,
where the barns are, the stables, where the house is.
Sure.
Later, when we're running around in the dark, like we inevitably will be, I can be like, "Oh, right over there." Like, I just want to get that layout. But then I also want to look for anything that we think we might be able to use as weapons. Anything, pitchforks for like the hay, or hatchets, and I don't want to pick anything up. I just want to note where stuff is.
Okay, cool.
Even like look for rope and like anything we might be able to make like traps out of. Although I'm not any good at making traps, I have no skill in that whatsoever. London does, or Iker does.
I'm going to be charming our other people to see if they brought anything.
Good call. Nicely done. See, now London's getting the idea.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's a dealer. He knows how to talk to people.
Well, yeah, I do know how to talk to people. I'm going to chat it up with them that I understand that we're like really close to, I think it's like a Girl Scouts camp. That it's we're like within a mile or two of them, and I hear stories. Yeah.
That's creepy. That's creepy.
They're girls, and they camp.
In y'all's exploration of the dark and sinister and supernatural, did any of you happen to learn about? I didn't know about this until the other day, but Amanda could tell you all about it. But did any of you ever read? This is me asking about your characters, mind you. Any true crime?
Probably.
No.
Yes,
No.
if it was believed to be supernaturally related. Like, probably
What about
anything realistic?
Okay, or unsolved maybe?
Yeah, like Donner Party stuff, or things that went missing, or like unexplained, like, oh, this guy, these people keep dying by this lake. Oh, I wonder why, like that kind of stuff. But beyond that, no.
Give me a what is the equivalent of like a common knowledge or something roll? Maybe let's do history.
Okay.
Or lore.
No, I'm good with that. That's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. I rolled a 5.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, when he mentions this Girl Scout camp, you remember reading about a horrible set of murders at a Girl Scout camp that is still unsolved to this day, and it's unsettling. And you're like, I don't want to talk about Girl Scout camps.
Is it near here?
I don't know where near here is, so no, I don't think so.
Okay.
But you're like, no, I read this thing, and this person killed everybody at this camp, and it was brutal, and nobody knows where they are or who it was, and it's terrible.
While we're working, do we get a chance to see Rick?
Oh yeah.
You do not see Rick while you're working.
Okay.
We're going to get through the morning. Let me go ahead and I will tell you about the orientation. You do take note, Kevin, of where like pitchforks are, where some emergency or like maintenance areas are, sheds. You kind of get a layout of where you are. The quad housing structure or housing area that you guys are staying in is not super far from the main lodge. That it's a bit of a drive, but it's kind of more just hidden when there are, if they're doing some sort of special event at the equestrian center and the Low Pine Lodge. Remember, that's also what's housed here. Is there's this huge lodge building. It's called Low Pine Lodge, and they are the ones that own the equestrian center. What?
All right. You were talking about it, and I was like, I should ask her if it's mostly pine trees or deciduous trees, and then you called it the Lone Pine Lodge, and I was like, I don't know, Matt. Which one do you think it is, dummy?
Oh, and it's Low Pine, Lopine, and we can get Go ahead and roll me another history and see if you know anything about this place.
That's a 20. That's still under my 30.
Okay. You are familiar a little bit with Low Pine, and you know that it's one of those old-timey naming things where this was not the original name of the area, but it used to be called Lost Pine, and then eventually it just kind of got shortened down to Low Pine. But that's been some time ago. I'm sure somebody else that has lived in this area could have more information about that later on. But that is, you kind of are, you've heard of it before, but there's a town not far from here called Low Pine, and that's kind of where you know the lore of it. But yeah, I mean, it's primarily the birch trees, but there's I had a list of all kinds of trees that were there. Where's my cool list? Because I was proud of my list. Just a second.
Oh.
Let's see. This was my description of Camp Coldwind Equestrian Center. As you drew, rough-hewn stone gate posts support a wrought iron archway featuring the name of the center. Two large mailboxes are set into a low wall. Mr. Durbin, who was the bus driver, turns onto the smooth asphalt and guides the bus along the winding path. The grounds are covered with fallen leaves, but some are clinging to life on their branches. The bright oranges of sugar maples, yellow red buds, red purple oaks, and the ochre of paper birch can be seen here and there in the autumn sun. So it's super pretty. I am a huge fan of fall in the Midwest, or of autumn in the Midwest, and I am so glad to be back here because Texas is pretty in the fall, but not as pretty as this part of the country.
We should take you to Brown County in the fall.
Is everything brown or is it gorgeous?
It's just gorgeous. It's so gorgeous that the tiny little town of like 3,000 people becomes a bustling area of like 20,000 people when people come in. It is
nice. I love fall in the Midwest. Missouri, Central Missouri is a lot of hills and a lot of really beautiful trees, especially like down around the Lake of the Ozarks, and you get down into that area, Branson and places like that. So this is I love fall and I love the Midwest, and that's probably the least of the reasons why we moved up here. But it's the one that's most important to me. Gosh darn it! But yeah, so there actually aren't a ton of like conifer trees. So there's not a ton of like evergreens in this area. They really want to focus on the beauty of the fall colors at this time.
Yeah.
So
walking through the woods last night, there was just a ton of leaves on the ground too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys are doing pretty good and stealthy. GM hand wave that you guys are just crunching through just shit tons of leaves. But my brain, I was like, oh, it's snowing. It wasn't snowy. Sorry, my finger keeps going off my push to talk button. I'm trying to be better about that. I'm like I said, I'm not going to describe what work you were doing, but you do take note of those things. As far as orientation goes, you realize you're not far from the lodge. You didn't really get a good look at it yesterday because it was kind of after dark when you went up for dinner and then came back. But this little quad of buildings is mostly just hidden. So in case they do some sort of conference or some meeting at the lodge, the inmates aren't on display to the rich folk. They don't want to see the needy. But it's really not that far. The stables are not any farther than that, and then there's just most of this land is just made for horseback riding, which I'm going to be honest with you as a GM and as a human, I know nothing about horseback riding except that it involves a horse and riding it. I don't do horse things. I knew some horse people, fans of horses, horse breeders.
Centaurs, not horse people.
Well, you don't know. Who are you to tell a centaur what's offensive? Anyway,
I was adopted by a couple of centaurs. I know what they think. No.
Well, maybe, yeah. Okay. But we, and you do remember when you guys drove in, it was quite a long drive from the entry, but it's not necessarily that it's a huge distance. As the crow flies is probably maybe a couple miles. It's still a long way to the highway, but that road is just all over. It's a scenic drive. It's a very nice. They keep this area up very nicely, and they want to show off the grounds. But you kind of get a lay of the land. You know, you've obviously learned where the stables are, which is not far from where your cabins are, especially since that's where you're working. So they didn't want to keep you all too far from the stables. But the whole property is just surrounded by thick woods, thick woods. And where you guys, and remember, this valley that you're in, I believe is it the Low Pine Valley? Let me check my own notes. Well, I just call it the southwestern part of the Ohio Valley, in an area at the foot of Mount Tom. So where you are, you can kind of see the mountain in the distance. And these are Midwestern mountains. These are not like Appalachia. This isn't, the Rockies or anything like that. It's a good sized hill. It's about a 1,200-foot summit, so it's not too big, but it casts a shadow. And you can see it out there, and where you saw the lights last night was kind of up on the slope, because where your cabins are and the stables and stuff is kind of near the foot of the mountain, and then they ride out into the valley. So if that kind of makes sense, I can draw it for you, or send that to you offline, but you saw presumably Cartwright's golf cart in a little ways up, moving up towards up onto Mount Tom.
Did we hear enough of the voices last night that if we heard them again, we'd recognize them?
I thought we recognized Cartwright from that night.
You did recognize Cartwright's voice, and the other voice you didn't really. Well, honestly, you really didn't hear a second voice. You heard him talking, and you heard what sounded like responses, but it was a little difficult to understand. You didn't make out any words because it didn't really sound like a voice. I think we described it as kind of like a rough wind, or like a rasping, breathy, kind of just a really hoarse, almost whisper.
Oh, that's not
so the other kind of hoarse, not Mr. Ed. It wasn't Palomino whispering in the trees. It was a harsh whisper. I don't know if that is how you. Harsh just sounds like I don't know. It had an A in the middle.
I had a joke go through my head, so.
Tree pony?
Oh, the tree pony. Ooh. That's a story for another day. That's a personal cryptid tale.
Oh, okay. So yeah, other than looking for the stuff that I mentioned, I'm not befriending the other people because no, I don't like them, and I'm keeping an eye on the adults. I'm looking for the ones that look like cultists, which I'm assuming is all
of them.
Yeah, I just assume it's all of them.
Okay. Well, after you guys do your morning, you do get lunch, and you reconvene in the mess, the eatery, cafe, food court area, whatever. I don't remember what I called it. It's kind of just a large dining room, and y'all are set at different tables.
So we're back at the lodge for lunch.
Yeah, they take you back to the lodge to eat. And
is there breakfast? Because that's rude.
You probably did have breakfast, but I'm going to say you're all too groggy to really remember a whole lot. You didn't say much. And they didn't offer coffee because you're kids and it'll stunt your growth, goddammit.
Look over.
Too late.
So at lunch, your friend Rick he makes an appearance in the lunchroom. And he kind of just looks over at y'all and waves. Remember, it's his grandma that cooks most of the food for y'all here because the cook staff is not yet, they're off for the winter. So, if you'd like to call out to him, he is there. But
like Rick, come grab some food and come sit with us.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Forgot that he's apprehensive because we were, I don't know, giant jerks. Is there pie for lunch?
No, we had a great reunion with him at dinner the night before.
I mean, you guys did talk for a while. It was okay, but he was a little apprehensive. Yeah. He was like, "Oh, you guys," and then London was like, "I remember nothing," and Rick was like, "I remember everything. I stabbed a guy with a dagger. It was great."
Yeah.
And I think in the daylight, his grandma kind of gives him a look like, those boys are delinquents. Mind who you sit with.
Hey, Rick, remember that time that we snuck away from the campers and we saw murdered people? It would be great. Come on, Rick, come sit with us. I'm not saying that.
Well, he comes over with a small plate of whatever she's serving up for you the night before. I think today it's just sandwiches. What do we serve? What do we serve the children? You got some grilled cheese and mixed veg, like some veg-all, and applesauce, and with a glass of milk. That'll be your lunch today.
Ugh. Never thought I'd say this, guys, but I miss. I never thought I'd say this, guys, but I miss school lunch.
Hey, I had good school lunch.
Hey, Rick, how much? How familiar are you with the grounds here? Do you spend a lot of time here?
Oh yeah, I do. I don't go to the camp with the kids that actually come to the camp in the spring and summer. I can't afford that, and even with the discount that my grandpa gets, it's pretty exorbitant. Yeah, I'm here a lot. I've helped my grandfather for a long time with especially in the winter and things. So do you live with your grandparents, or are you just here helping them for the winter?
Well,
I live with them now full time. I moved here. I used to just visit and then come and stay with them in the summers and on like school breaks and stuff. After all of that stuff, some other stuff went down in my personal life. And anyway, yeah, I moved here not that long ago. My parents split up. It was a big thing.
Okay. Rick murdered his parents. Stuff happened.
I'm sorry to hear about that, dude.
Yeah, my parents divorced. Dad passed away. It's just a thing.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Do you those?
He never really supported my interests. Anyway, yeah.
What? Oh, your interests, like your survival interests?
I mean, Grandpa is much more into the survival stuff than I am, or than my dad was.
So those trees that have the bark that kind of like strips off. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you mean the canoe birch? Yeah.
Sure. I didn't know that's what they were called. Have you ever looked at like the sap on those? Do they have sap?
I mean, no, I haven't noticed anything. Go ahead and roll a psychology check.
Nope. It's a big old nope.
I don't even have enough.
Does anyone?
I would like to spend some luck so that I can lower my 12 down to a success by making it. Can I spend 7? My psychology is 10, which means 7 points would actually put me at a hard success.
Yeah, you can spend as much as you want.
Well, let's do that. I'm going to spend 7 for that hard success.
I rolled a 94. There was not enough luck.
Yeah.
That's a lot of luck. Let's see. I mean, they do have. Well, for the psychology check, you can tell that he's obviously lying. He sucks at lying, and that question made him uncomfortable. The GM just looked up, do Birch Tree Sap because I don't freaking know. I don't know anything about trees, except that they're beautiful and I want them to live forever. But yeah, birch water is the sap of birch trees, harvested in early spring. When tapped, birch water is a clear, colorless liquid with a slightly sweet taste. The sap that is drifting from the cut branches is harmless if you find any. Birch trees are famous for the copious amounts of sap they bleed after being pruned in late winter. So anyway, that's Arbor Info 101.
I'm going to steer the question back towards his parents just briefly, or the conversation. And I'm actually going to try and charm him a little bit. I'm going to be like, I'm really sorry to hear about that, man. I didn't, I guess I'm kind of lucky because my parents, for all that I don't get along with them, they have supported me in past.
Sorry. That's really cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Can I be honest with you?
I didn't know you weren't.
Well, I haven't been with a lot of people here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I see what you mean. I get it. Yeah. Please. I'm not. I mean, it's just. Who am I going to tell? Is it a secret?
Kind of. I lean in a little bit closer, and I'm like.
I kind of lean in too because I want to hear.
My parents signed me up for this. I actually didn't do anything wrong. They thought it would be a growing experience for me or something like that. Not like I've actually done any growing recently.
Like no emotional growth at all? I mean,
they think I hang out with a bad crowd.
So they sent you the place with the bad kids?
Yeah.
They think it would be better for me to get out there and work hard and be much more physical than talking to people on BBS boards about like what is the best anime to come out in the last 10 years.
Sorry, what was that? What was the thing you just said? What boards?
BBS boards.
What are those?
It's dial up. You like hop on your computer and you go chat with people.
Like in that movie War Games.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I've seen that movie.
I mean, I thought you said your parents supported you.
They think they're doing right.
I didn't even know you could sign up for this.
I didn't either. Judge told my parents I was coming here.
I signed up for it by trespassing. That's what I got told.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't think you could volunteer to come here on your own.
Well, they sign you up either through juvie. They can sign you up for community service. There's all sorts of things, but they leave it pretty open because, hey, if the parent can pay to send their kid, this still boggles my mind. My parents paid to send me here.
Well, I think everybody's parents paid to send them here.
Yeah, but mine were
court ordered. Yeah, yours were court ordered, but I have no interest in the law. I assumed that this is completely new. We don't really. In fact, my grandpa didn't even know you guys were coming. He knew a bus was coming. He was not expecting.
Was he expecting adults?
Absolutely, he was expecting, newly released prisoners. We get prisoners often. At least, we get different busloads of them throughout the winter. Again, it's a work placement program.
How long do they usually stay?
A couple weeks. Depends on how hard the winter is, and if we have to, shut down the camp even more. I mean, if we still can take care of the horses that are here, because some people lodge their horses here through the winter. They own a horse, but they don't have their own. I don't know. Sometimes people who have too much money don't know what to do with. I mean, you'd think it'd be cheaper just to build your own stable and deal with your own crap, but people keep their horses here.
So
and we take care of them.
So I saw something. Is there any reason why the birch trees would have red sap running out of them?
Give me a. I don't know. Give me. You can either do a psychology or a spot hidden.
Spot hidden, please.
We all do that.
I am going to spend a point of luck to get a regular success on my spot hidden.
Sounds good. Anybody else?
I got a success on hidden.
I think I've already got an idea that, based on the other, that he's lying about the birch trees.
Sure. No. Birch tree sap is usually a nice, clear, a lovely clear color. Clear isn't a color. It's nice and clear.
Huh. I guess you got some sick trees around here then, huh?
You'll have to pardon the lingo. I'm really bad with idioms and stuff. What do you mean sick? Like
Disease?
badass? Like bitchin'?
No,
Or-
like disease, like something wrong with the tree.
How
Ricky, honestly, and I'm reaching out towards him, and I'm actually trying to charm, and I'm like, come on, man. I was honest with you. You can tell us. I'd like to roll a charm.
Okay. Roll it.
That is a 2, which is a extreme success for me.
That's an extreme success, and Ricky rolled a 93.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that was a success for our side.
What did we get from the spot hidden?
Well, it's all going to be kind of so from the spot hidden. You definitely see a flash of recognition, and the eyes start to kind of look around as he searches for something to say to divert the inquiry about the red sap coming from the trees.
Hence why I was charming.
Rick kind of, he looks at you. You said you reached for him. Did you touch him?
I reach out on the table towards him, like
Just like a flat hand on the table and just be like, bro, we're bros. Okay. He kind of, he looks at you and he says, he doesn't touch your hand. He just kind of pats it, or I guess he does touch it, but he kind of pats it real fast and pulls his hand back, and he's like, I get this a lot, but I truly only interested in women. But I appreciate the concern that you have. And I'm flattered. I truly am. But
look, you're cute, but I'm being honest here.
I'm being honest too. But as I was going to say is that
now I'm going to try and make him blush.
Can we talk after? Because Grandpa's going to come back in here and he's going to want you guys to get back to work after dinner tonight. I'll set it up to where Grandpa he won't care if I come and see you guys because he knows that we have history. But he looks at London again. And he's like, "But I'm serious, dude. Not interested, but I'd love to be friends." So,
you haven't seen me dressed up as Cloud yet.
Oh God. Okay. So, Ricky, if you're going to come tonight, do you think you could bring me a couple of things? Maybe.
He looks at London real fast and he's like, I don't play video games. And then he looks at Kevin. He's like, what kind of things?
I really would like some, like bubble gum. Nothing sugarless because it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know if you could tell, but I play a lot of baseball, and like I've gotten used to just chewing gum all the time, and I can't get a hold of any gum. And I don't want to get you in trouble, but like if you could bring some gum.
I keep bubble tape on me at all times. But I mean, if you're yeah, I was gonna say, if you're a baseball player, would you like some Big League Chew? Because we actually have some in the lodge welcome center.
I would love some Big League Chew. Yes,
I'll take care of it. I get a discount.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That would be great. That's it. I just wanted some gum.
Something normal. So you asked for the pitchfork. It seems normal.
Gum's an adhesive.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I don't want the sugarless. It's not very adhesive.
Not very adhesive. All right. Well, he's like, okay, you said a couple things, but idioms. I take things.
Oh yeah, no. Like, I mean, if you happen to find a baseball bat, like that'd be great. But I'm not super worried about that.
Yeah, you think your grandpa would let us like play baseball tonight after work if you guys have the supplies?
Oh, that'd be nice. I'd like to hit a couple of balls. That'd be great.
The only bat that I know of on the grounds would be my bat at our house. It's hard to play baseball with one bat. I think Grandpa and is going to come back, and I'll talk to you guys later. Let me Big League Chew.
Big League Chew.
Do you like the one with the blue hat or the catcher?
The catcher. Yeah.
Okay, they're both the same, but I always ask. It's it's art.
Yeah.
So you can tell a lot about a person by which baseball player they pick. But so yeah, he's like, okay, I'll see you guys after dinner tonight. And about that time, Augustus Cartwright comes in. He's like, okay, boys, hope you finished your lunch. We got more work to do. And y'all file out and you get back to work. And you spend the afternoon again. If there's something you guys want to do, tell me. I'm going to probably go ahead and we'll take a short break. I'm going to say like 5 minutes, if that's okay. The countdown is going to say 10 minutes, y'all, because I can't change it. It's a video. But give us 5 minutes. I need to refill a drink and get my thoughts in order for how this is going to go, and then we'll be right back. Right?
Yep, sounds good.
All right.
Guys, we'll be back.
Bye-bye.
Cool.
Hello, and welcome back to Bunkhouse B Camp Coldwind. I'm going to just tell everybody right now, this is probably going to not be our last episode of this story, so buckle up. No, I've kind of slowed down, and we're just going to see how it goes. I'm liking the energy I'm getting tonight, and I'm feeling pretty good about things. So I say, as long as Matt doesn't care, we'll take this until it finishes. It's not going to be a campaign or anything, but it'll be, at least another episode.
I'm having fun. Hi, Cat.
The kitty's back.
Yeah, he was in my Curse of Strahd stream all last night, but Zoom was like trying to filter him out because he wasn't my face, and so he just actually had this kind of like cat back shaped spot in front of me,
which actually kind of works for Call of Strahd.
A little bit. It was
Curse of Strahd. Sorry, combining two things.
Call of Cthulhu Strahd.
Yeah.
Cthulhu von Zarovich.
Well, that would be terrible. It would go nuts so quick in that game.
Yeah. Anyhow,
why did you do that to me, Roxy? Now I'm working it out in my brain.
I like the idea of Cthulhu von Zarovich. But
oh yeah.
So our little delinquents get their afternoon work done.
How dare! London is a perfectly normal's not the right word.
He's a perfectly maladjusted young boy.
He's the perfect non-delinquent.
He's just maladjusted. Okay, that's what we're going with. His parents feel that he is not adjusting to social life and social norms as he should be. The anime thing. Yeah, every time he says that to them, he's just like, they're like, if this doesn't work,
there's always shock therapy.
Then I just love you, and whatever you decide to do with your life, remember us.
Yeah, see, I remember parenting from the 90s a little bit differently. It's like, if this doesn't work, then you're going to get shock therapy.
Oh, jeez.
In the 90s? Oh, my God. I mean, the 90s were like a peak time in my life. I loved, we were discussing this yesterday, the era of Little Giants, The Big Green, and The Sandlot, which was kind of an expansive time. That was like, I was playing Pogs and drinking my milk and eating my Iron Kids bread, and it was freaking amazing.
See, 90s, 93 out of high school, 94 in college, 95, cataclysmic car accident that took me 10 years to recover from.
But did you get shock therapy?
I didn't.
Did you have friends that got shocked?
Actually, I knew a couple people that had that done, yes.
Oh my God. Texas, What is your problem? This cat is rubbing his head on my mouse hand, and he keeps making me click things. So, Call of Cthulhu is in full swing right now. If the screen changes, it's because the Emperor decided it. But, so you guys do your afternoon of work. August actually fills out a little thing. He's got like a little work report that he fills in what you did, how long you did it. He actually, for as much of a hard ass as he kind of puts himself out there as, you find that when you guys are working, and I'm going to say y'all do pretty good work. He doesn't even mind the back talk as long as you're doing the work, and the chit chat, fine, whatever, the work's getting done. He's actually not like that much of a hard ass. He just is gruff. Whether it's something's changed because he knows that you boys were in that incident with his grandson, or what, you're not sure what, but he doesn't really seem that bad. And he learns your names, he gets your names right, he signs off on. And he's generous with the hours that he fills in for y'all. And what?
Nothing. I'm just watching the cat.
Oh, does he keep peeking?
Just in the corner.
He just sneaks in.
Can't see it on stream, but you can.
Okay. Oh, in real life, yeah, there he is. Okay, I was like, I'm zoomed in on my beautiful face so nobody could see this dumb cat. I love the kitty. But so you guys get to go home. I assume you shower, clean up, and then he says he'll be back to pick you up for dinner after a certain amount of time. Do you guys want to talk about anything, or do you just kind of go on and go straight to dinner?
I am going to. I don't need to have a conversation for this because we don't need to role play all this out. But I'm going to mention all the things I saw and where I saw them.
Okay.
Yeah, and talk about. I was gonna say we'd probably talk about how elusive Rick was being.
Oh yeah, Obviously,
he was lying.
We're going to get to that more. Get more to that.
Yeah. Hopefully his grandpa will let us play some baseball. Maybe we can hold on to that bat.
No kidding. That's about it.
But just recheck the salt lines before we go back to dinner.
Yes.
Sorry, I had the wrong mouse, so I couldn't hit my talk button.
Oh. So other than that, I don't think. Yeah, we just go to dinner and.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's better than lunch. Lunch was horrible.
You know, the 1-year-olds that I teach every day do not complain, Shawn. So, what does that say about your maturity level?
The 1-year-olds don't have taste?
Yeah, refined palate.
They also can't speak to complain.
You know, you're not wrong. I should probably take it as some sort of critique when they dump it on the table. It's better. It's not it's not as good as the chicken spaghetti you had on the first night, but you do enjoy a I don't know, what would be a nice hearty meal. A pot roast.
Oh, yeah.
With some roast taters and the carrots and stuff from the pot roast crock pot and I don't know, a salad.
That works for me.
I feel like this is really turning into a George R.R. Martin story because we're getting a lot of food descriptions and a lot of murder. I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm just like
there has not August Cartwright is not trying to woo, a 14-year-old boy. So we're still firmly out of George R.R. Martin territory.
Yeah, that's fair.
Every person in the story has stayed dressed. There hasn't been an unnecessary description of a 12-year-old's pubescent anything.
Well, no, there's just the illusion that leave or you can watch me change, and that's kind of creepy.
Well, he didn't stay there and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna stay." He probably blushed outside the door and was like, "I'll be back in 10."
So is Rick down here having dinner with anybody?
Rick is there. Rick is already there, and he's got your table all set up, and you're at a different table than you have been set up at. Oh my goodness! Oh my kitty! My keyboard is not a pillow.
Do I need to come get him?
No, not yet. Well, he just bit me, so maybe. It's okay.
Well, I've reevaluated that already.
But you know my trick.
So, he's actually got you set up at a far table. What is it? TJ Grant and Taryn or whatever their names are, they are all at their normal table, but you guys have been granted some distance from them. And Rick has already got everything set out. Your plates he's bringing your plates to the table as you guys arrive. And you don't even just have milk or water with dinner. You get some nice sweet tea or unsweet, if that's your preference. It is the Midwest.
Unsweet, please.
Wow, there was some judgment. It is the Midwest.
Hey, I grew up drinking unsweet tea, so...
I don't drink sweet tea. I think it's an abomination.
Really? Well, I don't find it to be an abomination. McDonald's makes a pretty damn fine sweet tea. I'll take, and so do I, if I may say so myself.
For having grown up in Texas, for the most part, I would rather drink ditch water than sweet tea.
Supposedly, This is why this show's taking so damn long. Supposedly, I read a thing the other day about, or not the other day. This has been some time ago. I was looking at a southern sweet tea style recipe, and there's baking soda in that shit.
Ew.
Like just the tiniest bit, and I was like, "What does that do? Does it make it a little?
Might make it sweeter.
Fizzy? No, baking soda is bitter as hell. It's bases.
Sometimes maybe the base. If there's lemon, also the acid. I don't know.
Does it make it a little bubblier? I mean, it was weird. But one thing I've noticed since living here in Indiana is that when I was in Texas and I would use DoorDash to get my burgers during the pandemic, it would give me the option of unsweetened tea. This was at McDonald's. Unsweetened tea, sweet tea, and Southern style sweet tea. There were 3 options. Here, you get unsweet tea or Southern style sweet tea. There's not just the regular sweet tea option. I'm like, what is the difference? Is it baking soda? I must know.
Baking soda.
Well, no, I mean, from what I understand, is the Southern sweet or in Texas, it's the amount of sugar that goes into it. So Texas sweet tea has like 4
that might
cups
be
of sugar.
Yeah, I was going to say the Southern style sweet, the baking soda recipe had like 3.5 cups of sugar
And butter.
Disgusting. Oh God. Is it keto? Is it keto tea? Key tea?
It's believed that baking soda will counteract the tannins in tea, and then also makes it less cloudy.
Oh. Did you just look that up?
I did. No, I just knew that.
I was like,
Yeah,
you were looking very thoughtful, and I was like, Matt is like waiting for a moment where he can like drop some knowledge on us about baking soda.
Knowledge bomb.
Knowledge bomb. Okay, but anyway, so unsweet tea for Ricky,
Yep.
and then whatever y'all want. I mean, he's even like, he goes, "Would you like an Arnold Palmer? I have some lemonade in the back, and it's not even Crystal Light."
No,
Yes.
Don't ask where we get lemons this time of year. We're not supposed to talk about it.
No, I appreciate the offer, but I'm good with just the unsweet.
These are dead people lemons. Is that what we were getting at there, Roxy? Jeez. Yeah, I want some lemonade. Yeah, Arnold Palmer sounds great.
Yeah, half and half is great. The way to go. So yeah, you guys get settled. He comes back with the mixed drinks, if you will, and he sits down and he's like, "So, I almost forgot. And he reaches down into a bag that he's got sitting next to his chair, and he pulls out like 4 packs of Big League Chew. He's like, I know you said you like the one with the catcher on it, but I thought I would get you one of each."
That's great. This is perfect.
And they don't even make the sugar-free version of this stuff. I mean, this is for kids out on the Little League field. They want them hopped up as hell.
Yeah. You gotta get that energy.
Grandpa was not keen on us playing baseball because it is dark, and we don't have any like big lights. We do have the stable lights and stuff. We don't do night rides out here, so but maybe we can find a day. Grandpa says you guys did really good work, and I think you got a little extra time in. He said so. He's gonna try to get you guys out of here pretty quick. Like I said, we weren't expecting you, and he doesn't feel like this is the time of year where kids should be out here, especially on court mandated anything or other.
What's wrong with this time of year?
Well, it's cold. This is cold, hard labor, and we usually don't make. He's not in the business of running kids through that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you guys, we can work. I mean, we could all have jobs, but this is not the kind of jobs that we'd be getting. It's nothing against kids or the winter. It's just not a great time of year for stuff like that. Lots of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. It seems kind of dead around here.
I mean, it is the winter, but The horses are very much alive, and they still do all the things that living horses do. But it's just that you have to keep up appearances. And I know we don't have any kids here doing the horseback riding, but sometimes that makes it worse because they're just in their stables all day, and you have to. I don't know, and we don't really have the winter staff. We specifically let the winter staff or the staff go home for the winter and have time off because we do the work placement and the transition program. So
what we were talking to you earlier about?
Oh yeah,
Canoe
about the gum, yeah.
Oh no, the canoe birch trees.
We have a lot of those. Mount Tom is covered in them.
Yeah, and we're gonna tell us why they might be secreting red liquid.
Bleeding. It's not blood.
Sorry, Aaron, I'm sorry, Shawn, did you say bleeding? Because I said secreting.
No, when you said secreting, I was like, I would have muttered under my breath, you mean bleeding?
Okay. Because then Rick went with bleeding, and I was like,
no, sorry, that was me.
I'll be honest, Kevin. The word secreting kind of gives me the heebies. So, but so does bleeding in the grand scheme of things. But I mean, secreting sounds like I don't know, health class, and that's
probably don't like the word moist either, do you? You probably don't like the word moist either, do you?
I don't have a problem with moisture or moist. It's literally I'm having flashbacks to freshman year and the STD slideshow, and secretions are not a thing I want to think about.
Can we talk about these trees then?
And Ricky kind of looks around. If you want to roll like a psychology check or anything like that, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to.
I want to roll an intimidation check.
Ooh.
As I up towards the table and say, so do you want to talk about the trees then?
Okay, well, go ahead and roll your intimidation check. I don't know if Ricky seems like the kind of guy that needs to be intimidated. He was already apprehensive. He thought he was making friends.
I'm going to spend 8 points to 8 luck points to drop that to a regular.
What can I roll to as like a opposed, or do I get one?
Maybe POW.
Yeah, I would say POW.
POW would be the thing.
Did you get a regular success or better than that?
Success. And the way I would personally run it, and this is just me, is in this case, if there was a tie, I would give it to the aggressor.
Convenient.
That's just me.
This is what happens when you run a game for GMs. No.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. He kind of recoils a little bit, and he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna."
I'm like, dude, come on.
Listen, I have spent a couple of years reading up on all the weird crap. I just want to know about the trees. They're weird. There's some other stuff we should talk about, and I don't want a repeat incident, if you understand what I'm saying.
There are no legs here.
Useful information.
No, there's no legs, but you've got trees dripping red ichor.
There are no bobcats on that street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are no trees on this street. It's a street of scorpions. We're going to talk about the trees. Sorry, I just heard somebody laughing in the other part of the room. We're going to talk about the trees. But if you're going to be a jerk about it again, then I'm not going to want to talk to you a whole lot. And believe me, I know how to get out of here a hell of a lot better than you do.
Yep, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. We saw something last night, freaked me out. It reminded me a lot of what we went through. I think London went through some of his memories last night and had a bit of a rough time with them. None of us are comfortable right now. And it just seems a little weird. You have information that would help us feel a little bit better.
Is it bad luck to touch this stuff?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
The way I understand it is some people collect it, but that's been a long time ago. It's it's kind of. He looks at Ricky and he's like, there aren't any bobcats on the street. There might be bobcats in this valley, but not on this street. But he looks at Ricky and he's like, bleeding is a good word for it. That's what it's always been called. And give me 2 seconds to pull up my little notes here.
On your bleeding trees.
Not pushing your button, Rox.
Well, I was just going blah, 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 blah. So it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything informative. Again, 1-year-olds. This is how we communicate.
Sorry, the cat's over there singing to me.
Which cat is singing to you? Oh, Saul? I didn't hear you. Oh, I must have been making noises that inspired him to speak. Oh, here he comes. So, in so many words, I'm going to just recap this for you based on my notes. I'm not going to... Ricky tells you this story in a much more eloquent way, but he's like, okay. And he kind of leans into the table and he encourages you all to do the same. And even though you're like at least 50 feet away from the next nearest person, he does not want anybody else to hear this conversation. And he kind of keeps where he's positioned at the table, he can look and see like if his grandma or grandpa are coming and anything like that. And he's kind of got the corner of the room behind him, so he has the lay of the land. All right? So, but I'm just going to read you what I wrote in the notes because it's just easier than trying to keep up the character. I'm a bad role player. Sorry, guys.
That is untrue.
Yeah.
Well, I just mean in this instance.
Okay.
So, indigenous lore of the region tells of an ancient creature known as the Cold One, who sleeps in the heart of the mountain and rouses every few years. When it stirs, even the trees on the mountain begin to weep a dark red sap, also known as Tom's blood. The camp's owners, like most of the nearby town of Lopine, have forgotten the legends, but Mr. Cartwright and his family know the truth. And so that's kind of where that's the information he gives you. He's like, this is a thing, this is what they tell about. And most people don't talk about it anymore because most people don't come out here. It's only on this mountain that phenomenon happens.
Can I roll occult for cryptids?
Yeah, yes, because you had kind of remembered this before.
I got a regular success.
Okay, so last time when you were wanting to know if there were cryptids that you were familiar with in the area, I mentioned the chilblains, right?
Yeah.
So Ricky goes on and he says, "Oh, do you say anything to Ricky, or do you mention that at all?"
Are they related to the chilblains? Is it related to the chilblains?
You have heard of things here.
I told you I've spent the last couple of years studying.
Well, I mean,
crap. I was joking, like seriously.
If you read most of the books on cryptozoology and cryptid sightings, the chilblains usually aren't mentioned, but I'm sure there's some obscure references to them in some books somewhere, but it's nothing I've ever heard of. The only lore I've ever heard of has been given to me by my grandpa, but apparently the chilblains usually show up around the first snowfall, and so does the sap or the blood, Tom's blood.
So these chilblains, that sounds like something that would be fighting something that's called a Cold One.
No, I mean, I don't know. Pick names. It's just a name. I don't know. It's like, why call it Bigfoot? It's got big feet, sure, but I don't know. It's just a name.
So is there just one? Because Chilbane sounds like there's more, but the cold one sounds like there's just one.
Well, the stories that my grandfather has told me is that there's the cold one, and then he's got like these, I guess, his children, kind of. I don't want to think about how any of that works. Again, health class. Ugh. But it's generally accepted that the Chilbanes are his children, or I guess kind of like, I don't know, emissaries or something.
Kind of like the warning that something badder is coming.
Right. So is the sap. Like I said, it doesn't happen all the time, but the fact that it's happening now, Grandpa was very, very concerned because honestly, it usually doesn't happen until like, okay, this is if we believe that this is real, right? This is doesn't have to necessarily be real. This is lore, okay? Lore. And I mean, there's no real proof that it's super real, but I'm just telling you this does happen. The phenomenon happens. What causes it, I don't know. Go ahead and give me a psychology roll if someone is interested.
Yeah, that's a 96.
That's a 94.
Spending 6 this time to get a success.
All right. You feel like he's probably not being not telling you everything. He's definitely trying to insist that it's lore, and only lore, and that there's not a whole lot of information on that. You get the feeling that there's probably something else there, but he keeps going. And he's like, so usually when the lore goes, when the cold one wakes up or starts to wake up is when the trees start to bleed, because the old stories say essentially they mourn what's coming. And then sorry, I have a dog whining at me. John, if you need to go take care of him, that's fine. And then the Chilbanes kind of showed up later to, bring back, some kind of information to their, the cold one or something. And the Chilbanes are the ones that people more often than not are the ones that are claimed to have been spotted. No one has ever seen the cold one. That's why I said there's no proof of its existence.
Did your grandfather believes in it?
My grandpa?
Yeah.
I don't like to speak for my grandpa, but he definitely probably believes in it more than the average person.
So let me just ask you, hypothetically, is there any reason why your grandfather would be out near the mountain out by our cabins last night around 10, 11 o'clock?
Because the trees are bleeding and that it's really early for that to happen. I mean, it usually like when the cold one wakes up, it's kind of like there's those caterpillars that they have the little white patch on them, and if depending on the size of the white patch or where it is or something, it determines. It's like an old farmer's almanac type thing that will tell you when season or weather's changing or some crap. That's kind of what the trees bleed. It's more like, hey, the first snow of the year is coming, but it doesn't happen all the time, so it's kind of weird. And so they made up a huge story around it.
Right, but let's say hypothetically he was out last night.
Yeah, he was out because the trees were bleeding.
What was he going to do about it, though?
looking at it because
Was he out?
Do you know who might have been?
was he out by himself? Is that what you asked me?
Shawn and I are totally on the same wavelength here.
Yeah.
I mean, when he left the house, he was by himself.
Who else knows
Anybody
this
else out
story?
I mean, like I said, it's ancient lore, or it's like ancient lore for the region. Other people may know it, but I'm sorry.
You believe this?
I don't think I said I believed it.
The first thing that you said was a bug out of here quicker than y'all do. You remember you saying that?
I did say that, but I remember you guys, and I remember how you think and how you're always looking for a way out, and you're always sneaking around and doing dumb stuff and getting into trouble. And so, honestly, I'm trying to. I mean, Kevin started getting kind of weird and mean, and I was like,
and I don't blame you. I do not blame you for that.
You know how Kevin is.
But you played your cards, man. Come on, be honest with us.
Kevin, so Roxanne, clarify for me just to make sure I understand. It is Ricky, his grandfather, his grandmother, and those are the only adults out here
that we've seen so far, at least.
That you've seen.
Okay.
Yes.
Ricky, your grandmother didn't go out with your grandpa last night to go look at the trees?
No, he said that he needed to go check on something, and he went. And when he came back, he said that he'd seen that the trees were bleeding, and he got really concerned because, I don't know. He got really concerned, and he's not thrilled. And I think he's trying to get you guys out of here.
He didn't mention somebody he was talking to?
No. I don't know who he'd be meeting with out here. I mean, I guess maybe some of the lodge members could be out there, but I haven't seen any of them.
It sound like a person's voice.
Yes, we're on the same page again, Matt. So in the ancient lore, does it ever talk about people trying to talk to the Chillbanes or the Cold One?
Well, I mean, yeah. Sometimes.
Who would do that?
The lodge members. Okay. I was hoping. I mean,
what happened was.
Huh? Okay, what happened?
What happened was.
So, after colonists and settlers and people started to move into the valley, and moved the previous population out. I don't like to think about that, but it's true. When the white people moved in, things kind of changed around here. And it was just a small group of people that were here, maybe like 5 families that settled the area. And that was the first time that anyone that I have heard of or know a name of, was faced with the Chillbanes. And those stories are the ones that have been passed down to other lodge members and people like my grandpa, because he takes care of this property and he respects the land a little bit more than the lodge owners do. Go ahead.
No, so sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Rick, but So he might have been talking to these things?
Grandpa's talked before that there are some things that I have not previously been aware of in how he maintains this area and this camp. And some of that, he has never flat out told me that he talks to them, but he was like, he talks to someone. I don't know if it's a chillbane or what it is, or if it's just, I mean, you guys have studied some of this occult stuff, and there's all kinds of weird stuff. I don't know. He uses the term emissary.
So let me.
For what? What's the emissary?
I don't know.
Is it him?
I'm going to ask you.
Then he would tell me when the time was right.
I'm going to ask you an uncomfortable question. I mean,
please add it to the list of uncomfortable questions that
this one might be a little more uncomfortable. So normally it's adults that come here for this work program, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Is there a history of any of them just disappearing without a trace?
You see him.
You're taking a long time to answer that question.
Well, you see him kind of looking around the room, and he seems to be tracking his grandmother's movements as she talks to the other table of boys.
Quick, everybody laugh. Just laugh like someone told a joke.
Okay, that's weird, guys. But this is not funny. That's what you are.
Just trying to be normal.
Yeah, we know how to.
Nobody else can hear us. We're way over here. I was just making sure she was talking to them. She may come over here, but I'll give a signal or something. But there have been some that have been injured. There have been some, not all the time, but there have been some. Every few years or so. It's not like on a pattern.
Well, I guess I was right.
Okay, have you ever noticed your grandfather doing anything else weird?
I mean, what kind of weird? Like,
Do you have any strange books?
he brushes his hat. It's weird.
Like,
What with his hats?
in the house that
Oh,
are not what you would find in a normal person's house? Did he perhaps bring your dad up here before your dad disappeared? Like, I don't know, Ricky. I'm asking you. You know him, and you know the situation better.
I know that sometimes Grandpa has said that sometimes the best way to, the greater good kind of thing, is sometimes requires tough decisions.
Has he ever used the word sacrifice?
Like when he's talking about all the sacrifices he's made for his family.
Yeah, but is that literal or a metaphor?
Guys, I've never thought about that. I don't think my grandfather is sacrificing anybody, but I don't know. I mean, and I don't want to think about it. My grandpa, he's great. Okay, I love him.
I get that, but if he's talking about making sacrifice or doing things for the greater good and making sacrifices for the family, I don't know. Some of the stuff I've read, there's a lot of people that deal with these things that think they're doing the greater good to protect all of humanity, but they're killing people off to.
I don't think. I don't think so.
I am going to look at Ricky, Shawn, Ricky. I'm going to try to convey just with my face and eyes to stop talking about it. Just drop it.
No, no, I got it because I know where this is going. I know exactly what's going on now.
Sorry, I thought my cat had knocked over my drink. He did not.
I kind of give Kevin a nod, like, yeah, we'll talk about this later.
Rick, I have to say, your grandmother is a good cook. This pot roast is real good. Cooking for this many people is kind of tough sometimes. It's really good pot roast.
Yeah, it is. She's great. They're both really, really great. And
your grandpa been in this area for a while?
His whole life, yeah.
But I mean, like his parents, like they grew up here too.
Yeah. I mean, my I'd have to look at the family tree book again, but we had some immigrant members. But I think that's on my grandma's side. But I get what you're saying. But don't worry about the gum. But I think I'm full, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Hey.
Yeah, definitely.
As he walks away, I call out and I'm like, "Hey, Ricky, I'm really sorry I treated you like shit when we were kids."
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you were a little weird and quirky, but like, maybe we should have listened.
Yeah, just that.
Don't drink your pee without filtering it, because that's real weird.
I never drank my pee. I just never did it. Thanks, though.
That was such a backhanded apology. That's it.
Yeah, all that.
Having kids are real.
That
just gonna turn into in.
All that dumb survival stuff. That's what Dad used to say. But who knows? Because apparently the my grandpa taught me all of it. But I guess I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
No, I appreciate you sharing this information with us. You know what we've been through, and I know this wasn't easy for you, but thanks, man.
Yeah, well, you guys enjoy your community service. I'm sure I'll see you at some point. And he kind of just walks off and takes his plate back to his grandma. I'm gonna look immediately at Kevin and be like, my eyes are wide, like, oh shit.
As soon as it's clear that no one else was within earshot, I look over at the other two and I'm like, did you think his grandfather killed his dad?
No, but I think his grandfather is sacrificing workers to these things.
There's something there going on, and I'm not sure what it is. But if what he's saying is right, then maybe his grandfather needs to be out here so that the things don't come looking for more.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he needs to be killing people off for it.
But what if it's better to sacrifice a couple of convicts in a town full of innocent people?
Right, but guess what? He didn't get a bus full of convicts. He got a bus full of kids. And I think that's why he's so pissed off.
No, I'm not talking about right now. No. I'm talking about every other. No, this is real bad. Like, I think I want you to break my leg kind of bad. Like, I want to go home.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard when I got out of my dad's car, I was like, you're going to find me dead. Looks like I'm right. I don't want to be right.
I know if the Chilbanes are, like, what kind of monster they are. Do they believe to be spirits?
No, they're believed. The only loose description that you got of it was people thought that they saw almost kind of like very thin, almost like trees in the winter, like thin limbs and branches. They thought they saw something moving, not like a tree normally moves, through the woods. And around it, it seemed like even in areas where everything else seemed still, that they would hear almost like the sound of branches creaking under heavy snow, even when there wasn't necessarily heavy snow. But it's there's not a, that's why that's why a lot of accounts are dismissed, because it's like, oh, you were in the woods and you saw a tree and it sounded like it was creaking and sounded like wind through bare branches.
When we clean up from meals, do we take our dishes into the kitchen?
There is like a cafeteria service like a dishwashing, like big plastic container that you set your plates in, and then if they're plates, sometimes she serves some, like your lunch was on paper plates. So, but if there's dishes to clean, you just are to set it in there. Oh my God, buddy, you're gonna do something dumb.
So, chilblains, I think, are at least corporeal, which means you shouldn't be able to just come through the walls, which means the salt should stop them if it's going to do anything. I think we're good with the salt, at least at night while we're sleeping.
I'm still think you should do a watch.
No, I'm with you, because that's assuming that Cartwright isn't going to come after us. I don't think he's going to sacrifice it. I don't think he wants to sacrifice us, but I also don't know that he has a choice. Clearly, I'm the one's not the first to go.
And if Ricky's told him anything about us, he might be thinking we're a great choice because, yep, those weird kids that think, zombies are real and they just stumbled off into the woods and died.
I think he knows that Ricky's telling the truth. I think he knows that the zombies are real.
Right. I think he knows that, but I think we're also a great choice because no one's going to think twice about the weird kids stumbling off into the woods chasing after ghosts.
Have either of you ever driven a car?
Yeah, I've been learning.
Gonna hotwire one? You think we could get out of here?
I think he's checking his skills.
Yeah, I'm checking. Sorry, I'm checking my skills to see what I have. Maybe I could hotwire one. I mean, I've read about it, but I've never done it.
If I knew where the keys were kept, we could just I don't want to be mean to an old lady, but we could wait until Grandpa leaves, go into the house and grab the keys, and I'll hit an old lady with a stick to get away from these chilblains. I don't care.
I'm gonna hit an old lady with a chilblain to get away from chilblains. Oh, I don't care. I'm gonna beat that woman up.
I've got. I mean, what about the guys? They don't deserve this.
Listen, what are we gonna do? Tell them the truth? They're just gonna look at us like we're crazy, and then who knows what happens if we reveal the truth to them and Grandpa finds out? We could be screwed.
Break their legs.
So we run faster than them? I'm not
sure. You
sure.
guys become the mob.
Oh, so no. So they go to the hospital. I'm with you there.
Right,
okay.
No, so they go to the hospital, right.
So we run faster than them so they can eat first.
Well, I mean, that's not a bad plan.
Guys.
Yeah?
It's just not going to work. I mean, and even if we did get away, we're looking at being in even bigger trouble than we started in. Well, at least you two.
Look, I'd rather go to jail than get sacrificed to some chilblains.
Yeah. Juvenile detention's not great, but you don't get killed.
I'd rather figure some other way to make this work.
Well, I mean, what's the worst thing that happen to you? You're going to disappoint your parents more?
Disappointed parents are not that bad. Trust me.
Not compared to
dead
alternatives.
I mean, we don't even know what to do. Like, it's not like one of the movies where we know a thing to fight them. Like,
true.
I don't like if we had a way to fight them, maybe, but we don't. They look like trees that move, is what I know.
And our one source of information is now probably never going to talk to us again. Good job.
I don't think he had any more information to give us.
Except for him having supposedly a way to get out of here quicker than we have.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got access to, everything in his grandparents' house.
I think he knows something else.
Like a secret tunnel?
Or something, because obviously he's as worried as we are.
I don't think he is. Because I don't think he sees his grandfather as a potential threat.
Well, he doesn't see his grandfather as a threat, but he sees these things as threats. He probably has. I mean, it's Iker. He probably has an entire escape route planned, a bug out bag, weapons, whatever, already set to go. I mean, y'all remember him? Come on. Yes, he's bigger and stronger and tougher and whatever, but it's still
kind of handsome, and he's really, chill and.
I don't know. If you think you could talk to him more, fine. I will shut up and I just won't be there. But we've
already set it up. I mean, we got it. You set up. I mean, Kevin's the bad cop. Go be the good cop.
Yeah, we're the one that was nice to him.
Yeah,
be a dick. I'm just starting to feel like it was last time, except we know it's coming this time.
I was gonna say, but worse, right?
Yeah. Last time we thought we were just screwing around, and now we know we're in the lion's den. I don't know about you, but I'm.
Yeah, I mean, we just wanted to see a flooded camp. I mean, I don't.
Do I know any kind of lore about what would protect from tree spirits?
I mean, I've got
roll me some occult, I guess. Lore.
Isn't there a help thing? Because we both know occult, so we both could assist each other. Right?
How does assisting work in this system? I don't know if I've.
That is a really good question. That is a solid question. That is a really solid question. I'm gonna go look at it. Call of.
Because we're both pretty versed in occult, so I mean that would be helping each other out in this case. Is that in the player's handbook, or is that just in the keeper?
I'm in the keeper's handbook, and I don't see it called. I don't see it called assisting. Maybe cooperation. Well, both of you go ahead. Just both of you roll it, and I'll figure out how I want to do it when you do it.
Or can we just, if I'm assisting Matt, can he roll the 2 percentile and just take the better of it?
Oh, that might make sense.
Roll it. Yeah, that works. Go ahead and do a bonus die.
Because we're furiously discussing.
I should make you roll that, Shawn, just to see if you get a success. But I'm good with it. Just go and take the bonus die.
I got a 28, which is a hard success.
Tree spirits are kind of interesting. At the risk of sounding like an absolute asshole, Roxanne sounding like an asshole. I'm going to say tree spirits are not generally. They're more protective than offensive. Does that make sense? They're more called upon to protect areas or to protect people in areas or something like that. They're not usually ones that are going to come out and come after someone, unless, I guess, they perceive you as a threat. So that's probably most of what you know about it as far as protecting against them, or not even necessarily protecting against them, but to be effective against them. You have some ideas. I'll be honest, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'll say that if something comes up, I'll give you, if you get into that kind of a combat situation, you'll get a bonus die again.
Sure. That makes sense.
I mean, and just in character, I'd be like, at the very least, fire.
Yeah, set it on fire is the one that came to my mind. Is that's the easiest way to at least get through them, but it also could increase issues later.
So you know what? So after we discussed about tree spirits being possibly protective in an area, maybe the Chillbanes aren't the servants of the Coldwind. Maybe they precede him to warn. So maybe that's what his grandfather was talking to, was one of these Chillbanes that the Coldwind was waking up.
I don't want to trust it.
No, I'm just saying that's just another angle to look at it. Because, I mean, in my research, there are mysterious things that are beneficial that want to help. I know of some spirits in Australia that aren't necessarily evil. They're not from this world, so it's hard to understand them from what the accounts say.
Quick question, quick interjection. You guys are in your cabin, correct?
I'm sure we've probably made it back there by this time.
Okay. I was like, are you having this entire conversation? Okay, cool.
We didn't narrate it, but yeah, I mean, I assume as long as we've been talking, we're a little more private, a little more.
Sure. Okay, just making sure, because again, it wasn't stated, so I just wanted to make sure that we have changed venue.
There is no way to assist the book.
Okay, that's what it seemed like. I'm fine with the bonus die, though. I think that was a good solution.
Too, but like according to this, there's no way to make it better. No, that's fine. It's page 86, just so you know. 86, 87. So I don't want to trust that Grandpa Cartwright.
Okay. Because Chad has come through with some knowledge. Against tree spirits, rosemary for protection, usually mixed with salt. It's a good, powerful, and general protection against evil.
Rosemary and salt? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
usually mixed with salt. Yes.
Where the hell do we get rosemary?
The kitchen. I mean, I don't know if it would need to be fresh or if the dried stuff will work, but we could always see if we can, I don't know, sneak up there and get some.
I'm not going out tonight.
Well, I'm not either. Let's just hope the salt works.
Yeah, I'm assuming the salt is going to keep any spirit from being able to pass, and then we'll go from there. Like, maybe tomorrow we make sure we can get into the kitchen and look for some rosemary.
I mean, as long as these things don't, like, set the cabin on fire, I'm not leaving. Anybody?
Guys, open the door. Open the door. Guys, it's Ricky. Open the door.
Okay.
I opened the door, yeah.
And that's what we're going to call it tonight. I will. What? Guys, it's getting to the time.
Oh, you're right.
That was awesome.
Yeah, well, you're right.
I didn't even know if the beating on the thing would come through the mic, but I'm glad.
Holy crap, it did.
So the people on Twitch, though, didn't see all of your dogs just jump up either.
No, what the but yeah, so we're gonna stop there with Ricky banging on your door and asking to be let in. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I hope it didn't move too slowly. I thank you for those of you that bore with us through the technical difficulties earlier in the stream. Hopefully those will not continue to be an issue. But yeah, this was Bunkhouse Beat Camp Coldwind episode 2. We will be back in 2 weeks. Let's see. I'm looking at my Schitt's Creek calendar, and it looks like 2 weeks is February 25th. And we will be back here at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. You guys can do the math for the other times. And then next week we will be back at the same time slot on this same channel, twitch.tv/Quiett Gentleman, for another episode of Growing Shadows Season 2, which is our Ninja Crusade game GM'd by John. And it's been going good. We've got some good stuff happening over there.
An awesome wagon.
And an awesome wagon, yeah. And be on the lookout for those wagon shirts. I'm going to touch base with Justine this week, but that little drawing that she did was a fan favorite last week in the chat. So we're going to see if we can't get wagon and stealth mode on a t-shirt. But yeah, this has been a production of Quiett Gentleman Entertainment. And as far as other announcements, I don't think we have any. You're not doing Matt Plays on Fridays anymore, right?
Yeah, not especially not this week or next week. But we are going to finish out the Vampire the Masquerade story on Tomes of Isolation probably in 2 weeks. Will be the next time I do that, because I'm not doing it this coming week. It's the day before I go to Vegas, and then I will have just gotten back from Vegas, and we'll be very happy.
Okay. Sounds good.
It'll be a couple of weeks, so whatever 2 weeks is from Tuesday will be the next time.
Well, it'll be the 23rd, so it'll be 2 nights before our next game of this.
Yeah. So 2 nights. Yeah. So in 2 weeks we'll be back with that, and then we'll be back with this in 2 weeks. And
so Vegas, like the perfect Vampire Masquerade kind of territory.
Yeah, my buddy from high school is getting married, and I'm not surprised it's Vegas. I just have to take the chance because that's what we do.
When I got married the first time, it was in Vegas at Treasure Island on the pirate ship.
That's where I'm going to stay, is Treasure Island.
Treasure Island's an awesome place.
I've heard they're like, yeah, it's not the nicest, but it's real cheap and pretty nice for how cheap it is. And I'm like, that's what I want to hear.
Well, so when we were at Treasure Island, that was almost 18 years ago.
Ooh.
So I think it was a little better back then.
Yeah. Well, they don't even do the pirate ship shows anymore.
Oh,
they do have the Avengers adventure campus or something. So that's weird with props. I'm gonna go check that out. It's like $30 to get in. I don't know. That's some money. So I hit it big though. Don't worry, I will let you all know.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. Well, hi, Saul. But he is on stream this time. But that's all that's happening on this channel. If you wish to support friends of ours, we have many friends in the Twitch streaming world, and I might say that you might see a familiar face at twitch.tv/CFTRPG every other Wednesday. So we just had a show last night. So the Wednesday before the show on February 24th, a Curse of Strahd melded with Rippers Resurrected in the Savage Worlds system will be our next session. I believe episode 11 is coming out for that week, and I am on that show as Copernica Ashdown. My other show that I was on is currently on hiatus, but I really do appreciate you all being here. And I'm trying to think. I think CFTRPG is doing a Middle Earth show on Adventures of Middle Earth on Friday nights. So if you're bored tomorrow night and you want to check out a stream and you're a Lord of the Rings fan, I highly recommend checking out those folk. They just wrapped up a Curse of Strahd campaign in D&D 5th edition, and then they kind of switched some roles around, and my GM is one of the players this time, but they will be there playing that tomorrow night on CFTRPG. So check it out. Follow us all on Twitter.
When we do come back with Matt Plays, I'm going to be playing some Kingdom Hearts. I have both of the games in the collector editions. I just have to find a power cord for a PS3 so I can plug it in.
There you go. Well, most of the PlayStations are just like the two-pronged.
Two-pronged one, but we don't have it in our power cords, and I went and borrowed one from Rob and family, and they didn't have the right one either, so I just need to go to stupid
Amazon it or something. Yeah, GameStop it.
You need to pick it up real cheap. It's not a big deal.
For sure.
And also, really quick, definitely want to say a huge shout out to a few people that subscribed today to our YouTube channel. So Thomas, really quick, thank you so much for subscribing. Also, I think it's Nat1 Network. Thank you also for subscribing. And also, I believe it was a Chaotically Stupid also subscribed. So thank you so much for your subscriptions.
Yes, we appreciate your support. We have been trying to grow the Passion Nerdly YouTube channel now for a couple years. A few years back when we started with the podcast in 2017. So we may get back into podcasting. We've talked about moving some to a Twitch stream, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, again, I'm Roxanne. These are my friends, Shawn. I didn't even let them introduce themselves. Shawn, John, and Matt, playing Ricky, London, and Kevin, respectively. Follow us on Twitter and on the social medias. You can find us all somewhere, I'm sure. I'm everywhere at Ruworks. John is everywhere at Passion Nerdly. Matt is just about everywhere as Quiett. And
same with me.
Shawn is some version of Bink 26 everywhere. So follow us. We are, I think we're good people. We like to have a good time. We like to play games, and we like to take care of each other and take care of other people. And really, we want the best for all of you. So please stay safe, stay warm, and be careful out there. It's stupid. So we love y'all, and have a great evening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.